Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live from the great city of Las Vegas for the final week of the SFL regular season. And after 12 weeks of play, the Las Vegas Fury find themselves on the outside of the playoff picture, looking in and needing a win to have a chance of playing in the wild card round. They will face a stern test tonight from a mathematically eliminated Tulsa team that is playing for pride and looking for a strong end to their season. The action starts right now on the SFL Network on YouTube and simulcasting live on Twitch TV via the SFL Blitz Live. Good evening, everybody. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Churillo, and in the booth with me this evening is Levant Mercer. Levant, welcome back to the booth.
Thank you. This is going to be a very good game. I'm interested to see how Las Vegas comes out of this one.
Playoff lives hang in the balance. We are down to the field for the coin toss. It looks like the Desperados win the toss, and they will defer to the second half. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube and Twitch. And on stats tonight, we have Lee Pado. And thank you to him for keeping us all on track with our statistics. And looks like we're just about ready to go. The Tulsa kicker, Andrew Wheeler, has the ball on the tee. He's got his hand in the air, and it's game on here in Las Vegas. From inside the 10-yard line, the ball is returned. A nice return, actually, up to the 32-yard line. And here is the Las Vegas players to watch on offense. Quarterback Thomas Rahman, running back Robert Redford, wide receivers Brett Funk and John Blades. Levant, you played for this Las Vegas team last year, and after this first play, I'll get to your thoughts on the Las Vegas offense as Rahman is under center. Handoff. Redford, and he's stuck behind the line and dropped. 3 white shirts got to him for a loss of 2.
Well, one of the key things you're really going to want to look out for in this offense is you're going to want to see a lot of Redford. He's had slightly of a down season this season, but he still has run for over 1,000 yards so far, and you're going to want not what happened on that play, but you're going to want him to gain some yards in this game.
He's going to have some tough running tonight against this ferocious Tulsa defense that has kept them in a lot of games this year. Throw out to the flat. That pass is complete. John Blades makes his first catch and gets 6 yards. Sits up a 3rd and 6 at the 36-yard line. Here is the stacked Tulsa defense. Safeties Kanye Rockefeller and Charles Ball. Corners Nate Heslep and Kyler Murray. Linebacker Espen Royale. And on the defensive line, Ghibli Du, who leads the league in sacks, and Rhett Sawyer. Another handoff. Redford running left, and he's going to be stood up and dropped on 3rd down. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th down as Rhett Sawyer comes up with his first tackle of the ball game, and it'll be a 3 and out for the Fury.
Not so sure you would have wanted to run on 3rd down there. I understand you have a weapon in Redford, but against a stacked front 7, you really shouldn't be testing them like that. I would have liked to see them pass the ball more in those situations.
A little bit of feeling out of the defense early. The Tulsa defense wins that first encounter, and now the punt is away. Dustin McCrack is the punter for Las Vegas. One of the only punters that has a big value contract in this league. And he pins Tulsa all the way inside their own 20 to the 19. Here is the Desperados offense. The rookie quarterback is Ashley Jackson. Running back Sanzo Robinson. Wide receivers Stephen Bush and Corey Jones. Tight end is Garen Malone III. A single receiver each side. 2 backs flanking Jackson in the backfield. She's going to drop back to pass. Pressure in her face, but she gets the pass away, complete for 8 yards. And a good pass out into the flat on 1st down, complete to Garen Malone.
It was a good pass there by Jackson. She stepped back in the pocket. She saw some pressure coming. She still stepped back, had enough time to throw, had enough poise to get it to Malone. So it was a great play there.
2nd down and 2. Here is Robinson up the middle, falls forward, gets a 1st down. And more up to the Tulsa 31. Here is the Las Vegas defense. Safeties Anthony Wyo and Max Jackson. Corners Merrick Itera and Thomas Rahman Jr. Linebacker Abner St. John, and defensive tackle is Mike Fats Johnson. A 1st and 10 from the Tulsa 31. They're going left to right in this 1st quarter. Hand off to Robinson, hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss of 1. And Levant, you were a member of this Las Vegas defense last season. And what do you think they have to do to come up with a big win against Tulsa tonight and potentially secure themselves a playoff spot?
Or the secondary has to be on fire for them, particularly. I want to see a lot out of Wyo and Jackson, particularly, because those are the key figures on this defense to really look out for, as well as Fats in the middle.
2nd down at 11. Jackson going to air it out down the middle. A diving catch is not made, but there is MeUndies laundry on the field. Pass was intended for Corey Jones, as we'll check the penalty flag.
Late hit, number 13, offense.
Late hit on Tulsa. Unbelievable. As Corey Jones, maybe in an effort to keep that from being an interception, took a late hit on the play. It'll move the Desperados back.
That was pretty strange there. It just seemed like came a little late on knocking the ball away, and in that transition just happened to come a little late.
Now 3rd and 26. Jackson just gets the pass away. It's going to go for not a sack. The big pressure up the middle by Johnson. By Johnson. And that'll be a punt. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/SimulationFL for 15% off of your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping and return. Signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. The punter is blocked. The punt is blocked. It's a scramble inside the 5-yard line. Who's going to come up with the football? It doesn't matter, because it's going to be 1st and goal from the 2 for the Las Vegas Fury. How about that?
This isn't something they haven't done before. Their special teams unit has been on fire all season, including having a 3-block game earlier this season. So, they're really good at that. We just have to say that.
Cortland Weaver's punt was blocked, and now the Las Vegas Fury are set up. Here is Redford, stiff arms a man and walks into the end zone. Put it on the board. Special teams leads to offense, leads to a touchdown, as Robert Redford makes his 11th rushing score of the season.
Yeah, doing what he does best, just shrugging off a defender, sending him into the turf and into the end zone for the score.
A perfect start for the Fury, who need to win, plus have some help if they want to make the playoffs. Their record currently sitting at 5-6. They'd need to get to 6-6 to have a chance. Here is the kicker, Matt Rage. Extra point up and good. 7 minutes, 46 seconds to go, 1st quarter. Las Vegas 7, Tulsa nothing. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. And Levant, that went about as poorly for Tulsa to start as you can think that it could. How can the Desperados bounce back from this so early in the ballgame?
Well, they just need to not let it affect them. That's easier said than done, but they just need to go back out there and try to go back to their game plan. It was just a penalty and a blocked punt. It wasn't like it was something that they could have really controlled there, right? The penalty could be, controlled, but the punt being blocked, not so much. So they just need to get their offense going, really.
And there's a long way to go. There's still 7 minutes plus left to go in the 1st quarter. You got to have a short memory in this league if you want to win ball games. And here is Jackson under center, first and 10 at her own 21. Short drop, throws over the middle, bounced in the air. It's still bouncing in the air, and it's picked off. The Fury come up with the ball. It's a second turnover in 2 plays for the Tulsa offense. Thomas Rahman Jr. eventually scooped up the pick.
Yeah, Thomas Rahman Jr. right here doing what I could not last season and actually picking up the ball in a situation like that and taking it away. So good job on him. Bad job on Tulsa, though, not being able to come up with the ball. And, you know, in a hot potato situation like that, you really need to still come up with that. So, and it's looking rough.
The ball was just rocketed in there by Jackson. Looked like it bounced off the hands of Corey Jones. Popped up into the air, bobbled around, and eventually picked up by Rahman Jr. Now here's Thomas Rahman Sr. throwing it out into the flat for Redford, who trucks a man and gets 9 yards before being tackled by Espen Real.
Yeah, it always seems like you need 2 or 3 men just to try to bring Redford down, and that right there is just another example. He always runs angry, and he catches the ball and runs with it with violence as well. So it's going to be a rough day for Tulsa if they can't stop him.
Here's 2nd and 1. Gonna be another run for Redford. He slips through. He broke a tackle and is gonna walk into the end zone. Put it on the board. Robert Redford has 2 rushing touchdowns in the space of a minute and a half.
Well, this time Tulsa had absolutely no contain on the runner there. The person who was supposed to be the force guy did not get there in time. And as you just see here, he misses a tackle, and then someone just gets destroyed there, and that's it. Because with Redford, if you only have 1 tackler to him, that's probably not going to work, and that's how he got in this time.
The point man was Espen Real. He missed a tackle in the backfield, and then Robert Redford with running room is a scary sight indeed for defenses. Here's Matt Rajon to attempt another extra point. It is up and good. 6:59 to go. First quarter. Las Vegas 14, Tulsa nothing. And Levant, if you had gone to the concession stand for a hot dog, you would have missed all the action, because it all happened in the blink of an eye.
Well, sometimes, you know, you just have people here that could just get it for you. I've already asked for one because I can't really get up.
Rage getting ready to kick the ball off again. Returning kicks for Tulsa today. Out of the end zone is Charles Ball. His sophomore season had an explosive rookie year. And this season has cooled off a little bit. His defensive stats as a safety, he has 82 tackles, 5 interceptions.
That's definitely not in season 10 numbers, but they're definitely better than season 11 numbers. I think he's back on the come up. I don't think there's anything too wrong. Ball is a very good player in this league.
Offset eye, 2 receivers left, single right. Tulsa trying to stop the bleeding here. Here's Sanzo Robinson, gets nothing on first down, as he is tackled in the hole by Harley Stone, the defensive end.
One of the keys for Tulsa is they really need to get the ball moving across all the receivers to Bush, and they need to get it to Jones, and they need to make sure Robinson is able to run east and west. Every time he runs north and south, it doesn't go very well, and you just saw another example when it doesn't right there.
Handoff Robinson again. This time he gets a block inside and picks up 7 yards. Tackled over in the middle of the field, and I think that is a testament more over to the Las Vegas front line led by Mike Johnson. Yeah, he gets a lot of sacks. He has 12 on the season. But he also sets up the run defense here on 3rd and 3. Jackson sidearms it over the middle of Corey Jones. First down and more up to near the 40 to the 39. And Tulsa moves the chains and continues the drive.
Well, that time on that play, he just found a little hole right there in the seam that Jackson was able to throw into. And sometimes, yeah, they do employ a bit of a cover 3, cover 4 sort of scheme, and sometimes it gets beaten by things like that. So, yeah.
Robinson on the ground, gonna get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. Chuck Warsaw linebacker blitz finds its market at 2nd and 10.
No, Warsaw actually had a couple of interceptions last season. He's a paramount figure for Las Vegas as well.
Working alongside Abner St. John in the linebacker position. Here's Robinson again, picks up 3 yards. Nick Johnson there on the tackle again, and it'll be another 3rd down. So another chance for Ashley Jackson to prove herself from the quarterback spot.
In games in which she's been allowed to throw more, she's done pretty well so far. We'll see how she fares as this game goes on.
3rd and 7. Jackson pumps. Now throws over the middle. Double coverage. What a catch, Corey Jones. Into Las Vegas territory. Across the 35 down to the 34.
This is one of those things I'm actually able to talk about that I wanted to talk about. Just look at her pinpoint precision here. Look at this pass. The window, there wasn't that much of a window. Okay, there was a window of pass, but there wasn't that much opportunity. You saw how fast the other defender came in to swoop down to make the tackle there. So if she doesn't get it right where her receiver can get there, it probably wasn't going to make it. So good job on her for acknowledging the window that she had to throw the ball in.
Great route running by Jones there as well to get the better of Robin Jr. Here's a short pass by Jackson over the middle for 5 yards. As Stephen Bush picking up his first catch of the ball game.
That's going to be one of the important matchups of the day to see how Bush does against Itera, because that's probably the key for Las Vegas as well, is to see how certain members of their defense handle certain receivers.
One-on-one matchup extremely important here for Robinson with some running room, and he barrels his way for a 1st down to the 23-yard line. And that's where Robinson can be very effective running north and south, is when his offensive line gets out in front of him and makes blocks.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's really what he's going to need. He's going to need those extra blocks. He's more of like a receiving back out of the backfield from what I've seen is most effectively.
Well, he's going to get the ball again, pick up 7 yards on 1st down, going to bring up a 2nd and 3. Inside the SFL, presented by APM Music Red Zone for the first time today for Tulsa.
I mean, once again, you're just here. He has a blocker in front of him. His blockers are set. Nobody's really getting disengaged, so he's able to get into that secondary. That's where he wants to get to. He has the speed to burn. He used to be receiver, as I've said multiple times on different Tulsa broadcasts, so as long as you can get him into some open space, you can see some magic happen.
A former Baltimore receiver. Back in again, handoff. Robinson again trying to get to the 1st down marker. He will barely not get there. Needed 3, picked up 2.5. And on a 3rd and less than 1 from the Las Vegas 13, we're going to go just over 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter.
You know, figure we haven't spoken of on the Las Vegas defense yet, except for once, was Abner St. John. I really want to see him get to the ball carrier in situations like this.
Big push at the front, 1st down, and it looked like they were diving for the end zone there, not just to move the chains, but it works just as efficiently. 1st and 10 from the 12.
Short yardage situations sometimes feel like a bit of a scrum. I know that's a different sport, but you know, that's how it feels when it's only inches to go.
Offset I, 2 receivers left, single right, Jackson under center. We've seen a heavy dose of Sanzo Robinson on this drive. He's going to get the ball again straight up the middle for 3. And that's about the 4th or 5th play in a row that Sanzo's done that same dive up the middle.
I mean, it seems to have worked. It looks like their guard is pulling to the side and getting, you know, further upfield than usual. So, I mean, if you see that, you identify that, you keep going to it, and it's working. So
Jackson to throw now out to the flat. Pass too far ahead of Corey Jones. He couldn't make the catch. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, it just seems like it was led too far ahead, probably thrown too fast. Probably need a little less air under it, just enough to still get it to him, but not enough to lead him into the sideline there. That was her bad.
3rd and 7. They can get a first down inside the 2-yard line. But it's going to be Jackson alone in the backfield with 5 receivers. He's going to throw near side, and it's going to be incomplete. Again, leading the receiver out of bounds. This time, Aaron King was the intended target, and on steps the Tulsa kicker, Andrew Wheeler.
This is a bit unfortunate to get down the field in this much time and only come out of it with 3 points, still being down by loads.
From just about 25 yards, field goal is right down Main Street. So the Desperados get on the board, and I think as you mentioned, Levon, it was a very good drive. A lot of Sonzo Robinson. We only saw one big pass over the middle. A lot of careful play, but it did them well, got them all the way down the field, and got them 3 points.
One of the drives you needed after the hectic start that they've had to this game. You just want to get your rhythm and flow back out into your offense, and if they can keep doing that, they can start chipping away at this lead. They really need their defense to step it up, but other than that, they should be fine if they're able to do that the rest of the game.
It starts with good special teams play as Max Jackson only gets to his own 26-yard line. It'll be the deepest starting field position of the game for Thomas Rahman and the rest of the Las Vegas offense.
What's going to be a key for Las Vegas is to see how accurate and how precise Rahman can be, because he has his on days, he has his off days.
Gonna hand it off to Redford up the middle, and there he goes. 10 yards and a first down as fast as you can blink. He got a little bit of a hole, and he took it all the way.
Yeah, he just steps around, you know, a little bit of a fracas there at the beginning of the play. It looks like, well, a whole offensive lineman ate lunch, and, you know, they traded blows. The offensive lineman took a hit. He hit one of the defenders. It's all even there, and he got a first down out of it, too, so hey.
1st and 10 at the 37. This should likely be the last play of the first quarter. Rahman back to throw. Goes down the sideline, knocked away. Beautiful play by the corner, Nate Heslip, to knock the pass down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, if Heslip wasn't able to get there in time, that probably would have been a touchdown. So great job and good awareness by Heslip to just get a hand in there in time.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 37-yard.
There's good tight coverage all the way down the sideline, and now here's 2nd down and 10. Heavy set for Las Vegas with 3 behind Rahman. Redford's going to get the ball, get blockers, go down the sideline, and he's breaking free. Nobody can catch him. It's the ever-scroll by movement block of the game, and it leads to a hat trick of first quarter touchdowns for Robert Redford.
You almost attributed that to the wrong man, but I wouldn't blame you. I mean, it's been an old Robert Redford show from here, so, you know, we haven't really seen that much of Rahman, but let's just look at this block. That right there sealed the edge, and with that, that was it. Redford was off to the races. He's faster than everyone on that defense, so that was it for them.
Once again, he gets an inch, and he takes a mile, or in that case, about 65 yards.
Oh man, I wish it was 66. I could make a Route 66 reference with that. Oh well. The one off. Always one off.
Extra point up and good. 14 seconds to go first quarter. Las Vegas 21, Tulsa 3. And it's been a fast start for the Las Vegas offense. All 3 phases clicking. They had a block punt for special teams, an interception for defense, and a long Redford run for offense.
Yeah, everything's looking very good for them so far, and Tulsa just needs to have a drive like they did last time, but they need to finish with 7 instead of 3, and they'll probably be okay.
Charles Ball to his own 21 with 9 seconds to go first quarter. So the Desperados will get 1 play on offense before the end of the first frame. And Tulsa was very conservative on their first drive. A lot of runs up the middle. 1st and 10 at the 21. Jackson under center. And she's going to hand it to Robinson. Robinson gets a block, makes a spin move. And eventually gets 7 yards on the play. Max Jackson made the tackle. And that is the end of the first quarter of action. A hot start for the Fury. They need to win to potentially secure a playoff spot. And right now, they're putting in the work. But Tulsa has the football and a chance to come back in the game. We'll be back after the break. This is the SFL, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Michael Trello, Levant Mercer back here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas Fury currently up 21-3 over the Tulsa Desperados. 2nd and 3 for Tulsa. Up the middle goes Robinson. He gets 2 of those 3 yards. And Levant, we've seen a very conservative offensive game plan so far from the Desperados. A lot of runs up the middle with Robinson.
And I would say that's because they're paying respect to the Las Vegas secondary. They're one of the better teams in terms of takeaways. So, I mean, I understand why they would be doing that.
Oh, under pressure. Jackson escapes, throws down the field. Oh, it's intercepted off the deflection. What a wild play. Anthony Wyo comes up with the pick at his own 19-yard line.
You know, that's what I was talking about when I was talking about that secondary. Look at that man go. It's Wyo right here with the interception. You know it. Snubbed for the Pro Bowl last season, trying to make a case to make it this season, and he makes a very good case for himself right there with the interception.
Jackson avoided the rush, gunned it down the field looking for Stephen Bush. It was off his hands, and Anthony Wyo was there to pick up the pieces. A second interception for the Fury in the ball game. Here's Redford up the middle again, breaking tackles again, running down the field again, and nobody's gonna catch him. 81 yards, put it on the board. Robert Redford has 4 touchdowns in a quarter and a half.
Yo, look at this man go with the burst of speed. Instead of power, he goes with finesse and just sends it to the house like a rocket. He just flew like the Phoenix in the stadium and got to the end zone in no time fast. Blink and you'd miss it, I swear. Look at it again. Look at his feet go. This man's probably churning a mile a minute every time he takes a step.
The Tulsa defense currently has no answer for the Robert Redford show. All Redford, all the time. And the sold-out crowd here in Las Vegas is loving every second of it. Matt Ray John for the extra point again. He's 4 for 4 in that department tonight. Las Vegas 28, Tulsa 3, 10-13 to go in the second quarter. And I said 4 touchdowns in a quarter and a half. It's 4 touchdowns in a quarter and 1 minute.
Oh, that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Tulsa, but I mean, whew, Redford is a beast. And you just saw it on display right there.
Again, from the end zone, here's Charles Ball. And he's going to get up to his own 20-yard line. And I think that whatever game plan the Tulsa offense came in with, you can't stick to it now, can you?
No, at this point, you're probably going to have to deviate from the script that you just had and just go into your down by 14 plus playbook and just go pass the whole way until you get some scores back on the board.
2 in the back with Jackson as extra protection. She'll throw short over the middle to Garen Malone. His second catch of the day is good for 3 yards. Up to the Tulsa 24.
I mean, you can't entirely abandon the run game still. Because there's still time, and you need to mix it up a bit while it's still early enough for you to do so, but generally you'll probably want to start passing at this point.
Here's a run for Robinson up the middle. He's going to gain 4 of those yards. A 3rd and 3 coming up. Good tackle in the hole there by Tom Van Allen.
That's a name we haven't heard yet. He wasn't there last season when I was there, so I wouldn't know.
He is 5'11", 196-pound cornerback. Now on 3rd and 3. Robinson again can't get there. Beautiful tackle in the hole. And it will be 4th down and 2 and a stop for the Las Vegas defense.
Probably was starting to seem too predictable to go back to that same dive over and over. I would have liked him to show run, but pass out of a running formation there and probably try to, you know, trick the Las Vegas defense there. Instead, they ran and it didn't work.
First punt effectively away for the Tulsa punter, Cortland Weaver. Remember, he had his first punt blocked at his own 5-yard line in the first quarter. Max Jackson returns up to his own 37. Fury back on offense.
I know, if you're Ramen in this situation, you're like, am I going to get the throw the ball at all, or we're just going to run it? We're going to run it, huh? Okay.
The game plan is currently hand the ball to Redford. And that is the plan on 1st down, and he loses a yard. Good job by the Tulsa defense to contain him there. J. Bam Cook with the tackle.
That's one of those times you kind of want to kill the play or the quarterback. You see how the defense is aligned. You see that it doesn't look favorable. If you can count the hats in the box, you kind of want to. You probably would have wanted to kill the play there and just switch to anything else.
Now they spread it out a little bit, then run Redford up the middle, and it works wonderfully for them. And Redford is going through everybody like a hot knife through butter. He gets past midfield to the Tulsa 45.
Well, that's definitely another way to do it. Just spread the field, and you know, you change the numbers in the box naturally, and there you go. You open a hole for Redford, and you know, it's easy for him to get through it.
A quick burst of about 25 yards there. Into Tulsa territory at the 45. Robin gonna throw, and he's gonna go down. A sack on the play for Tulsa. And that is Lee Haywood. Oh, no, Rhett Sawyer. Excuse me, I confused 55 for 45. Rhett Sawyer brings home a sack.
Seems like you also confused 55 for 54, but I mean, so did Ramen, because he didn't see him coming and then he just ate dirt there. So I mean, it all works out.
We're far away up here in the booth. It's kind of hard to see. Rhett Sawyer records his 12th sack of the season. And on 2nd and 18, here's Ramen down the field. Oh, it's a catch behind the defense and down to the 9-yard line. Brett Funk. I don't think we've called his name outside of player introductions. He makes an introduction in a big way right there, picking up a huge chunk of yardage for the Fury for the air this time.
Well, you know what they say, you can't stop the funk, and you know, he hasn't shown a ball game because they really haven't needed to throw, but you know, as soon as they could, hey, there he is. Wide open.
And now Las Vegas is once again set up 1st and goal from the 9. 3 wide receivers right, and a run for Redford up the middle, and they'll get 5 yards down to the 4.
Now, it's in these red zone situations you want to see your veterans like Espen Royale and Kanye Rockefeller to really get in there. They have been doing those two have effectively been the key captains of this red zone defense, and they've been able to stop scores before when they're in this situation. So I want to see how they do here.
Redford stretch play, and the defense is all over it. He's not going to get anywhere. 3rd down and goal from the 4. And you called it. There was Espen Royale right on the money to make the tackle.
Now, whenever they're backed up in a red zone like this, you'll see one or the other, either Royale or Rockefeller, make big plays. So, you know, it's still not going to be easy for Las Vegas to get this score here.
They're going to try and go through the air to the goal line. Not there. They're not going to make it there, as the pass was short for Pofo. And they came up a yard short of the end zone, and now Matt Rage is going to try his first field goal of the night, although it's going to feel like an extra point as they're lying the ball on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, and part of that, once again, was Real just making a tackle right on the 1 yard line. And like I said, one or the other is always going to be there in the red zone. So.
Field goal good from 17 yards. 4:58 to go, second quarter. And it is 31-3 in favor of the Las Vegas Fury. Christian Punt in the chat asks how many rushing yards for Redford. My answer to you is Robert Redford currently has 193 yards and 4 touchdowns. Is that good? Because I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good indeed. We're trying, I think he was asking because he's trying to see how close he is to the record, and I don't think it's the same as, you know, the first ever game when he was on this team the first time, like, you know, the game against San Francisco where he ran for over 200 yards, or I think it was like almost 312 by the end of the first half. It's nowhere close to that, but it's still a pretty good day.
I mean, on current pace, he's going to get almost 400 yards in the ball game. Jackson back to pass. Pressure for the backside, down she goes. Loss of 6 on the sack. Byron Lewis laid the hit.
You just see where he's coming off from the edge here. Just shrugs the tackle off, makes a mockery of Robinson there, and just gets to the quarterback. As soon as he shrugged the tackle off, you knew that Robinson had no hope on guarding him.
That was Donald Ellis, the right tackle. Jackson in the gun, throws down the middle, double coverage. What a catch! Corey Jones out to the 36-yard line. That's the second time he's made a diving catch in double coverage.
Yeah, making up for what's that late hit in the first quarter by doing the same thing, and this time, now that has a clear avenue to the ball, makes a catch, makes an acrobatic catch by that was a great play there.
Here is Robinson trying to catch some of that Redford magic, but not this time, as he only gets 3 yards on the dive. A reminder to everybody in chat tonight, if you're not also tabbed into the SFL Blitz Live on the twitch.tv/simulationfl page, Commissioner Cameron Irvine is taking you through all of the games tonight with playoff implications, and letting you know up to the minute stats and highlights as they happen. Handoff, Robinson up the middle, he has a burst of speed past midfield to the Las Vegas 48-yard line. There's finally one of those runs that Robinson's going to have to need a lot more of in this ballgame.
I don't know how many times he's going to catch the ball the rest of the game because of the deficit, but look at this right here. He's just able to slice and dice his way right through the defense to get that first down.
3 minutes to go and counting in the first half. Remember, Tulsa does get the ball to start the second half. Jackson, pressure, coming, gets the ball away, caught for a gain of 4 by Jones.
Yeah, took a sharp shot at the end of that play for all his troubles, only for 4 yards. He'll feel hard done by that, but hey, they keep going forward, so.
And sometimes you need to make a good play, and that time it was Merrick Itera. You mentioned the one-on-one matchup between him and Jones earlier in the broadcast, as Itera wins that battle with the hard hit. Here is Jackson, short drop, throws to the outside. Room for Jones to work, and he's going to stretch across the line to move the chains to the Las Vegas 38-yard line, gain of 6.
Yeah, he sacrificed his body once again to get that first down. You know, he dove for the first down to make sure he got that yardage. So He's one of those captains for Tulsa. You know, he's able to lay his body on the line and make big plays for his team.
Jackson under center, handoff Robinson. Some room to run, quickly closed up, but a gain of 7 nonetheless. And that takes us to the Quip 2-minute warning of the first half. Las Vegas 31, Tulsa 3. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Stay with us. Two minutes to go. Tulsa driving at the Las Vegas 31, looking to put some points on the board before halftime, but preferably 7 of them if they can find the end zone for the first time today. Jackson under center on 2nd and 3. Get a hand to Robinson with a blocker in front of him and a spin move. Takes Sanzo to the 24-yard line and a first down.
Looking into some other action so far, you see that Sioux Falls is behind the Indianapolis Spitfire 21-14, and London is ahead of New Orleans 14-6.
I'll run you down some playoff scenarios at the halftime interval. Robinson gets the ball again, goes for 8 yards down inside the red zone to the 16. That's a surprising result currently right there as Levant gets us the updates via the score stream out-of-town scoreboard. That's Indianapolis is beating Sioux Falls because that Indianapolis team has been much maligned this season.
Yeah, they really haven't been able to get their offense going, but it seems like it's been working for them so far in that game.
Robinson fell forward, but his ball was in the hand that was backwards, so he's not going to get the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard from the Las Vegas 14-yard line, but we'll see what we get here. Robinson up the middle. Did he push the pile forward? Yes, he did. Timeout Tulsa with 42 seconds to go.
In other matchups, you have the Denver Nightwings are behind the Vancouver Legion 7-3. And currently, and unfortunately for Las Vegas, the Queen City Corsairs are ahead of the Vultures 10-0.
From the 13-yard line, 1st down and 10. Ashley Jackson surveys the field from her under center position. Hands weak side to Robinson. And Robinson is stood up and dropped after a gain of 4. Here comes the up-tempo offense with 33 seconds to go in the half and counting. Another handoff. Robinson running left, and he gets stuffed after a gain of 2. Good tackle on the play that time by Anthony Wayo, who it's looking like he is the spy on the running back in these close yardage situations.
Yeah, it looks like he is. They're using him more for that, and they're probably sending Abner back in coverage to cover the spot that Wayo's taking, so they're probably setting up themselves in a bear when it comes to these situations where the safety comes down and puts themselves near a linebacker, so that's probably how they're using
Jackson over the middle, caught, first down to the 2. 22 seconds left, now 20. Tulsa does have a 3rd timeout if they choose to use it. They're inside the 2-yard line. Jackson looking, moves in the pocket, throws to the end zone. It's bobbing in the air and almost intercepted. And that could have been a disaster, but disaster avoided, and they're going to have a couple of more shots at the end zone with 11 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, Tulsa's really lucky to have the ability to continue to play offense here, because that right there should have been a pick. Instead, they're going to go with a field goal. I mean, I don't like this, but okay.
I'm with you, Levant. I'm not sure what the thought process is bringing Andrew Wheeler out for the chip shot field goal with 11 seconds left. His kick is up and right down Main Street. Make that an 18-yard field goal. So with 8 seconds to go in the first half, Tulsa 6, Las Vegas 31. And I guess they think that they get the ball back to start the second half, and some points are better than a potential mistake and no points.
I mean, you can't really take that, oh, she almost, you know, threw a pick the last play. I mean, it's not baseball. You're not gonna take the ball away from a quarterback like you would a pitcher. Just let her throw the ball and try to see if she scores. I mean, like, you're down by this much. I would rather take the risk in trying to score a touchdown than to just take 3, but okay.
I mean, plus, your average gain with Sonzo Robinson is about 4 yards. You have a timeout left, so you can use it even if a run fails. I don't understand the strategy there, but it is 31-6. Redford gets the carry, runs left, and is tackled by Charles Ball, and that will bring us to the end of the first half of play. It's been all Las Vegas, and more specifically, all Robert Redford. He has 4 touchdowns in the ball game. Fury 31, Desperados 6. This is the end of the first half. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Stay with us.
So for Las Vegas, they've had a great half so far, and one of the key figures for them, whoa, what's up? Guess we're just gonna get right back to it, aren't we?
Well, a quick halftime break, and we are back on the field. Las Vegas and Tulsa. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada. The Fury and the Desperados. Michael Trillo, Levant Mercer with you in the booth. Lee Pato back behind us on Stats Tonight, providing us with all the facts and figures we need to bring this broadcast to you. And Matt Rage kicks it off for the second half. Tulsa with a mountain to climb. Down 31-6. As Charles Ball brings it back to the 21-yard line.
Well, what Tulsa really needs to do with, now that they have the ball back, is, you know, it's been okay to have a conservative beginning to the game, but now, at this point, they really need to go. They really need to get some scores. You don't need to get it all back at once, but you do need to pick up the pace a little bit. So one of my keys for this half would be to pick up the tempo.
Jackson throws to the far side, and Stephen Bush may agree with you on that as he gets 9 yards on first down.
Yeah, that's a lot more. That's a better gain than they have been getting. It's better to gain, you know, chunks of 7 to 9 yards instead of just 4 to 6 and then lose a lot of time with Robinson. You still probably want to mix him up here and there. You probably want to utilize him more in a passing game and send him out on wheel routes and swing routes instead of just running with him. Unless it's like this in the 2nd and 1.
Trips left, single right. On 2nd and 1, handoff Robinson, and he's going to be stopped short for no gain, and it's going to be 3rd and 1. A combined tackle by a couple of members of the Fury defense. Chief among them was number 50, Chuck Warsaw, who we saw almost have a pick in the first half. So now 3rd and 1, Robinson territory, and Robinson repays their loyalty by picking up a first down to the Tulsa 33. Let's take a look at some playoff scenarios concerning this game and around the league on this pivotal final night of the season. Tulsa can't make the playoffs, unfortunately. They're only playing for pride. Las Vegas to make the playoffs from a 5-6 record coming into the night, as on 1st and 10, Jackson hands to Robinson, and Robinson gets 1 yard. They need a Queen City loss, who is also at 5-6, plus a Chicago loss. And it would be nice if London loses as well. 2nd and 9.
It would definitely help their case. They're going to need strength of victory tiebreakers as well.
Jackson hit as he threw. It just floated out to the far side, caught by Corey Jones for 3 yards. And right now, basically, nothing going the way of the Fury except in this ball game, because the Corsairs are on top of the Baltimore Vultures 10-3. Wildcats and Pride have not yet begun their matchup. Jackson on 3rd and 7. Pressure up the middle from Mike Johnson, and down she goes. Mike Fatch Johnson with a big-time sack And it's going to force a punt out of the Tulsa offense on their first possession of the second half.
That's like the worst member of that defense to leave unassigned. There was no one guarding him, no one said to protect him. Perhaps he was just too fast off the line. Maybe the offensive line went to lunch. I'm not sure, but that was a mistake. They let him through, and she ate dirt. Simple as that.
After the punt by Cortland Weaver, Jackson returns up to his own 37. 13th sack on the season for Mike Johnson, and there are some star-studded defensive players in this game. Mike Johnson obviously just made that sack. We've got Max Jackson and Anthony Wyo. Wyo had an interception, his 5th of the year in the first half. Thomas Rahman Jr., the rookie, also had an interception in the first half. Now a 1st and 10 for Las Vegas from their own 37-yard line after the punt. Thomas Rahman, under pressure, gets the pass away, and it's knocked away, intended for John Blades.
You just look at Kyler Murray here. Just look where he last ended up. He just jumped the route there, and he could have. That probably, had he had his hands all the way around it, probably would have just been 6. So Rahman got bailed out there by the fact that Murray dropped that, because otherwise Tulsa would have been 1 touchdown closer to making this a more manageable game.
Kyler Murray only 1 interception on the season to this point, almost made it 2. 2nd and 10 for Rahman and company. Rahman back to pass, and this one's tipped and almost picked off again as a pass in the flat is undersold. It was intended for John Blades for the 2nd straight time.
Yeah, that was tipped away that time, and yeah, I would have liked to have seen more effort out of Junior Stanley, who probably could have just came up a little faster to take it away after the tip, but you know.
So now, Thomas Rahman has been given 2 absolute gifts, and he's going to go back to Robert Redford. He gets 1 yard, and it's a 3-and-out for Las Vegas. And honestly, I think that's a good outcome for that offensive drive by the Fury, considering 2 of those could have been 6 points for the Desperados.
You know, I think they have their offensive game plan backwards. They ran a lot in the first half, and then they gave the ball to Rahman. I'm like, I mean, if you're ahead on the back, you're running back at this point. Rahman should just.
What a move by Charles Ball to get away from 2 tacklers. Almost sheds a 3rd tackler. Gets to the 36-yard line. An impressive athletic display, not to be pinned down at his own 15 after the punt by Dustin McCrack. And let's see it again here. He catches it. Spin move makes 2 men look silly. One of them was Merrick Itera, who's a pretty solid cornerback and special teams player.
He's extremely good on special teams, and to make Itera, who's normally, you know, basically Steve Tasker on special teams, look silly is a monumental feat there. So good on Ball for making him look pedestrian almost on that play.
Here is Jackson, throws in the flat to the fullback, Buffalo Marshall, and that play was doomed from the start. It's a loss of 5 and a 2nd down and 15 at their own 31. There's Abner St. John making a tackle for loss.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure what Buffalo Marshall was doing. He looked like he was going the wrong way, noticed it, tried to change his direction, and in the process of doing so, looked like a deer caught in the headlights and ate a whole bunch of Abner St. John in the play.
To be on the arm of Ashley Jackson here on 2nd and 15. 4-step drop throws to the near side and gets 2 yards through Aaron King. And it's going to be 3rd and a long way to go.
Well, look at the stats there. Only 98 yards passing with 2 interceptions. So she's not having a great day passing. Besides a couple, you know, flash in the pan plays earlier in the game where she's made a couple first downs. Other than that, it really hasn't had much going on.
Oh, another sack. As the offensive line is like a sieve under a faucet. As that time Harley Stone got back there, he picks up his second sack of the ball game. Cortland Weaver on to punt again.
Yeah, that time right there, you know, the whole coriander just busted and all the macaroni went into the sink because she just took a bad sack right there.
That was almost a second block punt, but Weaver got it away. Max Jackson still on his feet after taking 3 hits. That's why you wrap up, folks. Because sometimes those get away from you and you don't have someone swooping in to save the day at the end of the play.
Yeah, it almost looked like high school football as tackling right there. You just have a lot of arm tackles until someone remembers, you know, proper technique and finally brings him down. I almost felt like Max Jackson could have taken that to the house if the 4th guy wasn't able to tackle properly.
Las Vegas back on offense. Here's Rahman, moves in the pocket, throws it down the field, and a catch is made all the way to the Tulsa 30-yard line, essentially flipping the field. That's Pofo. Makes his second catch of the game. That's the tight end, Randy Pofo.
That right there, they just found a gap in that zone right there. Just realized that the tight end shot across in a bit of a post quarter out and just saw that the zone went away from the play. Rahman was able to identify it and get it straight to him.
Here is Robert Redford, the MVP of the ball game, and he's turned it on the Jets again at a shoestring tackle by Kanye Rockefeller. The only thing preventing Robert Redford from getting a 5th touchdown. There you see his updated numbers on the screen. 223 yards, and we're not even out of the 3rd quarter yet.
I think part of where he lost some of his speed there is when he was readjusting for, you know, where that offensive lineman of his was. He had to put his hand out up there and readjust himself, and that probably lost him a 10 for 2 of a second.
5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Las Vegas a big lead, 31-6, and on the cusp of extending it. Redford up the middle, and nobody's gonna stop him. It's a 5-touchdown night for Robert Redford. Put it on the board once again.
Like, finally get it back in the hands of Redford, and sure hands indeed, because as soon as he gets this ball, he's off, and bam! Takes one with him for good measure.
Kyler Murray by himself had no chance of bringing down rumbling Redford. And then he drags the veteran Kanye Rockefeller, into the end zone as well. Matt Rage on to attempt the extra point. And the extra point is up and good. Chat shout-outs, Ty Baller, Thomas Rahman Jr., and Thomas Rahman Sr., both in the chat. Joseph Clausen, Ashley Jackson, Christian Punt, John Bond, Paz G, 3-Eyed P, and everybody else watching on the SFL Network on YouTube. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us, as you have all season long. And remember, playoffs start on Wednesday with Wild Card Wednesday. Don't forget to tune in to those games as the fight to crown a SFL champion begins in earnest. Charles Ball, not great field position off of the return, only out to the 19-yard line.
At this point, Tulsa just needs to get a score any way they can. They would prefer 7, of course. And I just think they just need to find some sort of way to get down the field. Change some of the route trees up, change some of the play calling, but they just need to get down the field.
Oh, it looked like a handoff gone awry, but it's going to count as another sack for Mike Johnson. It looked like the ball was intended to be handed off to Robinson, but he wanted no part of it because he saw Johnson right in the hole. It's a loss of 2.
That right there was just extreme burst off the line. That was just superhuman Mach 5 speed off the line right there. Just shredded the center, and as the handoff was
over the middle, caught And they got a bunch of those yards back and more. Give them 11 yards down to the 28. And a 3rd down and 1 coming up. Good catch by Stephen Bush in traffic.
That's probably what they're going to need to start doing, is to have a lot more of those short plays that take like 3 steps, or have short routes and just get the ball out of her hands.
On 3rd and 1, Robinson couldn't get there. Pulled under by a swarm of black, red, and yellow jerseys, and who else? Mike Johnson was there leading the charge.
He's been basically doing every role a defensive tackle needs to do in this league. He's been getting to the quarterback. He's been stopping the run, which is actually their primary role in a defense. And he's just been having a great game.
Got 2 sacks as well, as Las Vegas will go back on offense starting at their own 35. 3 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the 3rd. We'll just give you a little bit of an update via the Score Stream out-of-town scoreboard. What's going on elsewhere? And what's going on elsewhere does not favor Las Vegas. The Queen City Corsairs all over the Baltimore Vultures, 24-6. They're not out of the first half there. Denver has come back to take the lead on Vancouver, 17-14. Here's another long for Redford. He's going to get a yard. Knights and Pharaohs. New Orleans up 16-14 there in London. And the Indianapolis Spitfires still hold a 10-point lead over the Sioux Falls Sparrows in Sioux Falls. Chicago Wildcats and Tallahassee Pride kick off later tonight. They kick off in just about 5 minutes. 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1. Handoff. And a loss of 1 back to the 35 for Redford.
So this situation reminds me very much of the now Nightwings, previously San Antonio Vaqueros situation, where they did everything they could against St. Louis and won that game, but no, San Francisco, unfortunately. But no matter what they did in their game, they just weren't able to get their tiebreakers.
3rd down and 10, not going to be enough. Short by a yard after the catch by Chris Knight. And on comes Dustin McCrack to punt for the 2nd straight Las Vegas possession.
Now, there's still a lot of time in that other game for Baltimore to come back. I'm just saying sometimes you could do everything possible and other things just don't fall your way.
Baltimore, that was almost blocked, but Crack got it away. It's going to bounce at the 10, down to the 5. Oh, what a beautiful bounce and a terrific punt down to the 6-yard line, and terrific punt coverage as well down the field. And Tulsa will start in the shadow of their own end zone with 1:31 to go in the 3rd quarter.
If nothing else, we can say that Las Vegas has an interesting niche in being able to pin their opponents in treacherous field position.
Handoff, Sanzo Robinson got stuck behind his own blocker there. He couldn't really get around Will Danderson, and he'll only get 5 yards in what looked like almost a promising play there.
Yeah, it looked like it could have had some promise if he had one more block. He just couldn't get it.
2nd down and 5 after the run. Another Sanzo Robinson run, and he's going to go nowhere again. Wolfgar Reinhardt made the tackle along with Stone.
Now, a couple of the unsung heroes of this defense also making plays, in Reinhardt, Stone, and earlier Warsaw making a couple of plays. So the whole defense has been stepping up for Las Vegas today.
A run on 3rd and 5 goes nowhere, only a gain of 1. It was a vicious tackle from Byron Lewis, who has a sack in the 1st quarter. And Cortland Weaver, this is a situation we saw earlier in the ball game. Tulsa punting from their own end zone. They got it blocked. So a dangerous situation here coming down to the end of the third quarter. Weaver punting from his own end zone.
Against any other team, this would have just been a normal punt, but against Las Vegas, this is a bit dangerous.
They're just going to play cover and let the punt go off. It's going to be great starting field position, especially after Max Jackson shrugs off a tackler and gets inside Tulsa territory to the 44. That's the end of this evening's third quarter. Tulsa is struggling to find anything on offense, but another Robert Redford touchdown extends the lead for the Fury. Las Vegas leads at 38-6 over Tulsa. This is the SFL presented by APN Music on YouTube. Stay with us. Start the fourth quarter. Robert Redford going to run off the left side. He's going to have running room again, and he's going to break his Kanye Rucker for the tackle, and he's going to go inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Another amazing run by Robert Redford. He didn't cap it off with 6 points this time, but he almost deserved it after breaking 3 tackles.
Oh, look at this right here. He gets a couple blocks to seal the edge, shrugs off a tackle from one of the hardest people to shrug off in this league, and then just, he's probably running out of steam at that point, because earlier in the game, he probably would have broken that tackle at the end there too, but, we're in the fourth now, so.
A 34-yard run down to the 8-yard line. Now an empty set as Redford's on the bench. Rahman throws across the middle, put it on the board. A passing touchdown as Las Vegas piles on the pain here. At home last week of the season, a sold-out crowd of their fans are absolutely loving it. Chris Knight gets a touchdown grab.
Spreading the love around to his receivers. He hasn't really done that so far too much in this game. It hasn't needed to, but, they decide to, give him the ball to throw, and what a great pass. It's just wide open receiver right there. There was really no way to really mess that up.
Matt Rage for the extra point. It's up and good. 10 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the ball game. Las Vegas 45, Tulsa 6, and maybe a few fans starting to beat the traffic out here with 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Wow, probably a few fans are also looking up at the out-of-town scoreboards, trying to see what's going on in other games, because right now it's still looking pretty rough because Queen City's ahead of theirs, and in the other game that just started, Chicago's ahead of theirs too.
If either of those games go, either Chicago's or Chicago's or Queen City's way, Las Vegas would be eliminated. Now, Queen City needs a win plus a London loss plus a Chicago loss. Yeah, we would kindly look and see what is going on over there. Here's a pass by Jackson. Connects with Stephen Bush for 8 yards. Good catch one-on-one with Itera.
Now the Pharaohs are ahead of the London Knights 23-14 so far in the third there. So it still doesn't look too good. It's what Queen City wants, at least.
And then we're all going to be sitting back and watching the Chicago game against Tallahassee. MeUndies laundry on the field. Looks like the defense jumped. And is going to give the Desperados a free first down.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 96. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And we hear some boo birds from the crowd here in Las Vegas. Just something you don't want to do at any point in the game, even if you are up 45-6.
First and 10. Ball at
I mean, if you're the home crowd, you never want anything to go against your team, even if you're up by 100. So, I mean,
Throw out in the flat. One-handed catch by Stephen Bush. Great grab as the throw was a bit behind him from Jackson. Get about 5 yards on the play, 2nd down and 5.
Second and 4 from the Desperado.
Just one thing I just haven't liked all game is that they played a very conservative game plan. They haven't really moved from it. They have tried a couple of times and they've been beat for it, but they still need to.
Jackson must have heard you, goes over the middle, caught and into Las Vegas territory. Stephen Bush, 3rd straight catch on this drive. And that's the kind of play you need to see more of from Tulsa.
This is definitely what they really needed to do, and look at that right there. That's one of the matchups I was talking about all day, and that time Bush gets way ahead of Otero there.
1st and 10 from the Fury, 40 yards.
1st and 10 inside Las Vegas territory at the 40. After the long pass complete to Stephen Bush, Jackson going to come underneath and hit the tight end Garen Malone, the 3rd, for 6 yards. Something I do want to bring attention to as we've just passed the 8-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Sonzo Robinson, well, he hasn't had the greatest day eye test-wise. He does have 103 yards, which does put him over the 1,000-yard mark for the season. He's going to get the ball here on 2nd and 4 and get one of those yards, make it 2nd and 3.
It's still something for him to pin his feather on his cap for the season, even if his team won't make the playoffs and probably, well, at this point probably can't win this game either. But it's still a great personal accomplishment for him and the Tulsa Desperado.
He breaks one tackle, dives forward, and gets the 1st down as he was being tackled by Wolfgar Reinhardt. Extends the drive for Tulsa down to the Las Vegas 30. Coming up to just under 7 minutes to go when they snap this ball. Handoff up to Robinson, gets 2. If you're tuned into this game and you are not also have another monitor or phone or some other device tuned into Simulation FL on Twitch, you've got the SFL Blitz Live going. You can catch all the playoff scenarios as they happen. Cam and Irvine, the commissioner, taking you through all these stats and highlights. As going for the end zone and getting picked off for the 3rd time tonight is Ashley Jackson. The one-on-one battle was won by Thomas Rahman Jr. He has his 2nd pick of the game, and Corey Jones can just stand there and watch it happen.
That I just feel like was a bad trajectory on the ball. Like she threw it on the side that Rahman was on. If she was gonna make that pass, she should have thrown it and led her receiver away, because that could have went both ways. If you threw it away and you threw it on his opposite shoulder, that probably would have been a touchdown. So that was just a bad decision.
Robert Redford from his own goal line. He's got a burst of speed down the sideline. Can Keslep catch him? He dives and he can't get there. Unbelievable 97 yards. It's a 6-pack of touchdowns for Robert Redford on the night. Over 300 yards rushing. What a game.
Santa Maria, I just want you to understand, look at this man's speed. This is a corner he's beating. This is a running back against a corner. Look at this. Yoink. See ya. Have a nice day. Well, I'm going to have 6 touchdowns on the day. You're going to have all the turf in your mouth. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
And talking about flipping the field as well, that might be one of the longest rushing touchdowns, if not the longest of the season. Officially 97 yards, but he started about 4 yards deep in his end zone when he got the ball.
Yeah, he started from way back there, too.
Extra point is up and good. 6 minutes, 6 seconds to go in this evening's ball game. Las Vegas 52, Tulsa 6. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. If you can't get enough SFL action, don't want to wait another week for more games, don't you worry. You've got the playoffs starting this week. Wild Card Wednesday night. Stay tuned to the SFL Discord for times, dates, and teams in Wednesday night's wild card action as Charles Ball gets up to the 20-yard line.
I'm gonna have to start putting us on record watch because right now Robert Redford is ran for 367 yards so far today, if the stat sheet is correct, and thus is in line with the amount of time that we have left. He could still probably beat the 423 record.
So we will keep that in mind as we've got 6 minutes to go. Handoff Robinson, he loses a yard. And talk about contrast. Can be no bigger contrast between running back performances between the day that Sanzo Robinson has had and the day that Robert Redford has had. Sure, Robinson reached the 1,000-yard mark for the season. He's got, barely over 100 yards. He's got 101 currently. As the second down at 11 play. Here is Jackson. Plenty of time. Throws down the middle. Caught! And down the middle goes Gavin Malone. Tackle missed by Blades or Jackson. And he's going to roll to the end zone. Put it on the board. Tulsa Desperados finally get a touchdown in the fourth quarter. As Gavin Malone goes 81 yards for the score.
Look at this time. She just played. Well, there was a. Look, I just want to put it out there. There's no way you should be leaving Garen Malone on an island like that. There was no one around him. High Terror doesn't count because he was in a zone. He's in a soft zone covering for something else. So that right there was just a busted coverage, and oof. That just let Garen Malone just go straight to the end zone uncontested.
Well, a bright spot in the game for Tulsa. Extra point up and good. They now trail 52-6, 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go. And you feel that they should have been doing that maybe about 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah, they probably should have been just doing that about at the start of the game. Just come out guns firing. They probably would have had a better time of it.
Well, I mean, Ashley Jackson does have 3 interceptions. Only one of them, really, she could have controlled. The other 2 were pretty nasty deflections as Max Jackson takes the ball to the 31. He was the one, Jackson, rather, was the one that missed the tackle on Malone on the last play.
Well, just to continue with record watch here, Robert Redford, after doing some quick math, is going to need a run for 56 more yards to tie the record to 57 to beat it.
We are watching that one in the final 5 minutes and 15 seconds. But it's Thomas Rahman back to pass, and Thomas Rahman going down for a sack. Second one of the night for Gib Ledoux. First one of the night for Gib Ledoux, but he extends his league-leading sack record. He now has 20.5 sacks on the season.
I mean, that's just the first ballot shoo-in for the Pro Bowl, isn't it? No matter how well his team has done. Him individually, he's just been decimating offensive lines all season long, getting to the quarterback.
I've got to agree. He's got to be on that defensive line of the Pro Bowl. Redford on 2nd and 17 gets a pass in the flat. And that's not really Redford's game. He gets no yards. 3rd and 17.
I don't want to ask them to run the ball with him, but I'm going to ask them to run the ball with him. You got to try to get your guy his record. Come on, man.
You know, I think that, I've been on sidelines and down in coaching positions and players' positions. I don't think they're thinking about that right now, as it's 3rd and 17. They are going to run it with Redford, though. Up the middle. That's not Redford. Redford did not get the ball. He's on the sideline.
What are they doing?
Simon Phoenix is the running back, and he got about 7 yards. That it is 4th and 9.
Did they put the backups in the game?
I
that
think
what
they
they-
did.
Oh no. Oh no. I know you said they're not thinking about it, but come on.
I mean, if they have internet on the sidelines, all the players, if they're thinking about something other than this game, are watching the Queen City Baltimore game, or at least the live score updates. 'Cause if they've done their job. They're going to win the football game. They're up 52-13 with just under 4 minutes to go. And now they've got to hope that Baltimore can create a massive comeback against Queen City.
First and 10 from the Desperado, 28.
Well, let's see how much time that game still has left to go. I'll get back to you after this play. They are at the half. Okay.
1st and 10. Jackson throws down the middle of the field, intercepted for the 4th time. That time it was straight into the hands of Anthony Wyo, who picks up his 2nd takeaway.
That right there was just a ball hawk right there. I don't know where that ball was intended to, but Weil just was an opportunist on that play. He just saw that the ball was going absolutely nowhere, jumped in front of it, and took it away.
Wyo was like a shortstop diving to his right to catch a line drive on that play. Extremely well done. And now, here is Phoenix again. They do have the backups in for
That's a
Las
shame.
Vegas. And I agree. I think they should have gone for the record, but it's going to be a banner night for Redford anyway, and it might be a night that gets Redford into the Pro Bowl.
He still has tough competition ahead of him. I think he should be, but there's a lot of tough competition ahead of him. There's still Hart, there's still McChesney, there's Sandlin. There's been a lot of good running backs this year.
Well, an offsides jump from Tulsa will extend the game a little bit. Mandy's Laundry on the field.
Neutral zone infraction, number 69, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
And as we take a look at the games from elsewhere going on, I'll have that for you in a moment after this play by the Las Vegas offense after the penalty. 2nd down and 5. Cole Trickle is the quarterback under center for the Fury, giving Brown a break, and Simon Phoenix almost actually picked up a 1st down there, got 4 yards.
Pick up of 4 yards on the play.
As the starters are all still in for the Tulsa defense. So, around the league right now, Indianapolis is barely holding on against Sioux Falls. It's 24-21 there in the 4th quarter.
3rd and 1.
New Orleans has opened up a decent gap on London in the 3rd quarter. They're up 30-21. Denver and Vancouver, still a close game there, as we have reached the quick 2-minute warning of the 2nd half. Corsairs and Vultures, as Lavont said, is at the half. Queen City up 31-16, and Tallahassee, start of the 2nd quarter, they've come back to tie Chicago. That's 7-7. 3rd and 1, handoff Phoenix. Phoenix breaking free, and he almost broke all the way to the end zone, if not for a shoulder tackle by Kanye Rockefeller. And that was the 2nd time I think we've had the Everscroll by movement block of the game. We had one in the 1st half on a long Redford touchdown run, and then we have one there on a Simon Phoenix 1st down run.
I think that time I would probably say it's tied because it was the backups against the first string defense. So I will say, I guess I'm not sure why we have 2, but okay.
Phoenix again is going to be wrapped up in drop gain of 4. Second timeout taken by Tulsa. Ever scroll by movement. Blocks blue light to protect your eyes from digital screens. Don't hurt your eyes by checking out SFL action. Protect them and see every moment by using the promo code SimulationFL at purchase from movement.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL through our partnership. Movement premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. And there's going to be there's a lot of SFL action to check out as Phoenix takes it for no gain. Tulsa breaks their final timeout. Not only Wild Card Wednesday coming up on Wednesday, and next weekend quarterfinal games, but tomorrow night we've also got 3 games as Dallas takes on Oklahoma City, St. Louis plays Atlanta, and Houston travels to Alaska. All of those games are 7 Central, 8 Eastern start times right here on the SFL Network on YouTube. Don't miss it. It should be a fun evening of football. Across the middle goes Cole Trickle. He completes a pass, and he finds Simon Templer down to the Tulsa 12. Desperados can't stop the clock again. We're down to 1:26 and counting.
At this point now, Las Vegas is just going to try to figure out how much time they have left before they get into victory formation. They probably think they can do it now.
And that time is right now. Cole Trickle is in the best formation in football, the victory formation. As this will be the end of the game. Levant, this was a domination from start to finish for the Las Vegas Fury.
They understood what was at stake. They knew that their playoff lives depended on it, and they played with their hearts out. And especially Robert Redford, who unfortunately at the end of the game wasn't able to get his record, but is up at least in the top 10 for all-time single, single game rushing performances. So he's got a lot to be proud about, him and his 6 touchdowns. And quite honestly, Las Vegas did everything they needed to do in this game, and now they just have to hope on results from elsewhere.
And Tulsa, their season ends definitely not in a way they would have wanted it to. They end their season 4-7, or 5-7 rather. That's the end of the ball game. Final score: Fury 52, Desperados 13. But definitely things to build on for this Desperados squad going into the summer season. Stats and highlights scrolling across your screen now, and I'm sure a lot of those highlights are going to be Robert Redford, and he is my candidate for the Extraordinary Everest Player of the Game.
I'm quite sure that's the only person one could probably think of, because look at this dominating performance by him. Basically, most of these points right here for Las Vegas have come basically on the shoulders of this beast of burden. This man has just carried the whole team on his back this game, and look at that, he also just absolutely decimated this defense and was able to just take control of the game, the clock, and the situation. And because of it, and the lack of offense that Tulsa really had, there was just no hope for any other result in this game.
Final line on Redford: 367 yards and a 6-pack of rushing touchdowns, taking his total on the season to 16 rushing touchdowns, and he also has a receiving touchdown on the season.
Definitely also changes his Pro Bowl aspirations, because he started the season. I mean, he started the game with only 10 touchdowns on the season, and only just about over 1,000 rushing yards on the season. Now he has probably 1,400. So definitely changed the complexion of what that race looks like.
And for the Desperados, it's a long off season, but we get back to it in July. And all the green and players for the green and red have that to look forward to. The official Extraordinary Everest player of the game, Robert Redford, and as we said earlier, Devon, he cannot be anybody else. That'll do it for us here in the booth. For Lee Pato on stats, Levant Mercer, who has been my co-conspirator all season long, I've been your play-by-play commentator, Michael Trujillo. We'll see you in the playoffs. A good night, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.